Allison Mack, former actress from Smallville, is out of jail and she's doing like some type of tell all about her being part of this cult. All right, so let's go back to where it all started from the beginning. This was her before the cult.
Hello, everybody. I don't know if you've noticed recently, but I've developed a fondness for my Twitter account, and I am having a really good time experimenting and playing and throwing all sorts of things out there. But as a result, I've realized that I have a lot of people that I'm following, and I feel like the popular girl in school. It's kind of cool. I have my pulse on what everybody's doing, but as a result, it's become very challenging for me to interact and manage all of the amazing information that I have coming my way. So I am narrowing down the amount of people that I'm following, but don't think that if I decide not to follow you, it has anything to do with you. Don't take it personally. It's just that I'm trying to get better at managing my way through the Twitter world. So that's all.
All right, so that was her pre-cult. Now here's an alleged recruitment video.
When I first came to ESP, I had on the surface something that seemed to be like the perfect life or a pretty good life. Like superficially, materialistically, I was very successful. I had the job, I had the dog, I had the car, I had the boyfriend, I had the blah, 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 the clothes, everything that I thought I needed in order to be okay. And yet, I couldn't stand to be with my family for more than 2 hours at a time. And the idea of being honest with even my best friend was something that was so far outside the realm of possibility that I just kind of thought you always lived your life inauthentically.
What happens when these cults get like a popular star like her to buy into it? Hey, now, hey, we need you to be the face. We need to use you to recruit others.
And when I came to ESP and I started to do the work in the Goals Lab, do the work in the classes, I started to transform in a way that I never expected. Like, I literally didn't know that you could spend time with someone and not be nervous. I literally didn't know that it was possible to have a
You see, hey, you could be around us and not be nervous. She's recruiting. This is a recruitment video.
week with your family where you didn't feel like leaving. I just thought that that wasn't really possible. I thought it happened in the movies. And now that's my life. That's my reality. I have an experience of my family that is nothing but joy. And it's astounding.
Well, it wasn't all astounding. It wasn't all rainbows and butterflies because she ended up joining some type of sex cult. And she eventually got charged with some trafficking. And here's her former co-stars trying to explain the whole Allison Mack cult story.
You always think, come on, how can someone get brainwashed? Well, you know, working with, and I haven't really talked about this, but like working with Allison and seeing her grow up. And, you know, I never really hung out with her, maybe a couple cast dinners and, you know, directed her and she was really sweet. And, you know, she was always really nice, needed attention. Who doesn't? I know I do. And, you know, there were certain things. But you ask yourself, how does someone just completely, it's almost like you're leaving your skin somewhere and I can't explain it because knowing Allison for those years and just seeing her on set but you know, you never imagine in a million years. That's why I think I neglected sort of to read about it or really, it's like, this can't be, there's gotta be something, but you probably saw her change.
Now, here's the thing, right? I definitely went to high school with someone who was a very outspoken athlete who ended up getting sucked into a cult, man. It's a very sad story. Sad for him, sad for his family, sad for his, I believe he had like a daughter or something. D1 recruit, here today, caught tomorrow, bank accounts empty. It actually made national news. So you don't never suspect, like, no way this person would join a cult. You know, all it takes is the right push at a vulnerable time, and then you go on like that, just like that.
I did.
And when you first met her, because you know it's still hard for me to believe. I mean, there was an incident at my house years later. Still, I don't know if I was on. I don't think I was on Smallville, but she and a friend of hers and this guy said, "Hey, I haven't talked to you forever. We want to stop by," and I hadn't seen her. and they walked in the house, and it was almost like I just remember, I'm not being I'm not blowing this out of proportion. I'm not exaggerating at all. I remember because my friend Ethan was here. And I remember we just kind of go, and by the way, I didn't even know about this NXIVM or anything. At this point, I mean, I remember on set once, she came and she's like, hey, you should take this class. It's really cool and blah, blah. And I remember I said to Tom, sounds like a cult. I don't know. And we kind of laughed.
Then just laughed it off. And then next thing you know, that NXIVM really is a cult.
But we never thought, oh, it's like, I'm sure it's like people are looking for things. We never did it. But but after that, we never really heard about it. That was what she was doing, and I never really thought about it. So years later, I don't know what year this is. I have to go back, and I could probably figure it out. But I think it was after Smallville. She's in the vicinity. She comes over to the house, and she walks in. And she walked in. She was a different person. She walked in like she owned my house. Like literally, she owned my home. She walked in with her friends and they walked into the kitchen. I was like, hey, she was like, hey, how are you? And then walked into my kitchen, started bringing out pots and pans and started cooking. I go, what are you guys doing? My friend Ethan's like, what? It's like, we're hungry. We're hungry. We're gonna, I remember that like it was yesterday. I got to talk to Ethan because then I said, after a while, I just felt uncomfortable. I was like, well, hey guys, like that's it. Come on, let's, and I kind of asked them like, hey, you might want to leave soon. And I was kind of be nice. The guy turned almost violent. I mean, he was violent. Like who was it? I can't remember who it was.
He was probably part of the cult and they were there on recruitment. Hey man, come join us. Come hang with us.
His name, because I didn't care. I just was like, who the fuck is this guy? Very angry and like, I think he was on something. He was like, and he just started kind of cursing at me and Ethan. I was like, fuck you. I'm like, all right, you know what, buddy? I don't know what this is about. You just come in, you start cooking in my house. You guys don't even say that. Why don't you guys just go? Well, I'd actually like you to get the fuck out of my house. That's what I said. And I remember I was waiting for Allison to sort of jump in and say, I'm so sorry. No, he doesn't mean this. There was nothing. It was just like, it was almost like they were zombies. That's how I remember. I'll never forget it. And I'm not saying that this has anything to do with it. NXIVM has anything to do with it. But when they left, I looked at Ethan and our hearts were racing. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm disgusted. I don't, and I remember I got a text maybe a few days later. Oh, sorry about the other night or something. I don't.
So like he was witnessing firsthand, like, yo, she's hanging with an unsavory character, likely part of the NXIVM cult. And they have this episode at his place. And he just kicks him out, thinks nothing of it.
Bizarre.
But I'm just telling you that I don't know where it came from. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was a bad night. But it was years after I had seen her. I hadn't seen her for a long time. So I think what I'm saying is, did you, when you first met her to the time all this shit went down, what was that transformation like? What was that sort of relationship?
I mean, I'm going to backtrack for 1 sec because you said something about brainwashing and it's a word that people, either you're of the mind of like, we're all brainwashed. It's just another word is indoctrinated. We're indoctrinated by society, by our parents to believe certain things. Commercials indoctrinate us. It's not a matter of whether we're brainwashed or not. Just how brainwashed are you?
Right.
That's one belief. Right?
Not everyone brainwashed though.
Right.
I didn't understand how this worked until I left. Quick plug for a book that really helped me understand. It's called Combating Cult Mind Control by Stephen Hassan. And it explains how in a seminar you can be indoctrinated, especially in 3 days. That's why by day 3, they had me. Their hooks were in me.
Damn, 3 days is all it takes. 3 days is all it takes. Y'all guys been listening to me for over a year. The hooks are in, baby.
and it goes step by step. And I'm not an expert. I can't even begin to try to explain what he explains in this book, but if people want to understand better, that happens. But for somebody like Allison, and keep in mind, I was there for some things, I wasn't there for other things. I'm kind of hypothesizing what happened with her, And I also don't want to like bring any more hurt on her and her family. I want her to be better. I want her to wake up. And I've heard, by the way, that she has, which is great.
Yeah, that's what I was sort of hoping. I was hoping that because I don't know anything other than I just remember her as a sweet girl, and I hope that I just kept hoping I was wrong or people were wrong, and I just don't know how it happened. So continue. Sorry.
You know what? What I remember is from that first gymnast training, and I'd met her casually through our group of friends, at a bar, like at a party. Super outgoing, great dancer. I remember thinking like her style was really great.
Great singer,
really friendly, very, I liked how like she was very touchy, lots of hugs. And I really liked her a lot. And after that first training,
oof.
I think because she wasn't working the next day, she got on the plane and went back to Albany to meet Keith after 2 days. And some people have said it was like the private jet. I don't know. So it's a rumor. Is it private jet or either way, she got on the plane, went back, met Keith, and that video footage that you see in the vow of them meeting at volleyball. Like, I've never seen that. I didn't even know that footage existed. When I watched that 2 weeks ago, I was like, holy shit. I mean, people didn't normally meet Keith until you'd had to take a minimum 16 day. So the fact that they let, Allison into that world, and she felt probably very special to get special access to the Vanguard. I think it's all things that.
I mean, you do that to bring her in. Like, oh my God, it usually takes 3 weeks to meet me. I'm going to let you meet me day 3. You like, oh shit, well, I'm so special. Why me? Oh, you've been doing good in your trainings, girl. Come on in here and drop this neck. You'd be like, what the fuck?
Many of us that were our actors, like wanting to feel important, feel special, get attention. I think she got all that. And
that was after 2 days?
Yeah, it was a 3-day training in Vancouver, and she flew back and met him. And I'm sure I don't know about you, but I felt nauseous. Got chills when I saw that video, like how he was looking at her and what he said to her, and he was fucking with her mind and like bearing into her soul with his eyes. Like, you could just see the whole history unfold.
That's wild. Now she is out of prison or whatever, and she's making her waves.
Allison Mack's next chapter apparently includes a new love post-prison. Multiple outlets report the Smallville star turned convicted felon tying the knot with a man named Frank in Los Angeles last week, with TMZ posting a photo June 11th from the alleged ceremony, showing Allison wearing an ivory wedding dress while holding hands with the groom in a small-scale service. Allison was previously married to Nikki Klein.
Whoa, she went from women to men? No way.
Another actress embroiled in the legal saga surrounding NXIVM. A group ex-members have later labeled a sex cult. The two split after 3 years as Allison stared down charges stemming from her involvement, including ties to NXIVM founder Keith Raniere. Allison pled guilty in 2019 to conspiracy and racketeering charges, receiving a 3-year sentence behind bars.
Damn, she did 3 years in the clank.
But only served 2.
Oh, 2?
Before her 2023 release. As she was sentenced in 2021, Allison told the court, "I have experienced overwhelming shame as I have worked to accept and understand all that went on and all that I chose. And I know coming out the other side, I am a better, kinder woman because of this."
Wow. Now, here is someone that people say I should try to make my content like to make it more digestible, but the thing is, I can't do this type of style. But here's her story, kind of like beginning to end.
That show Smallville? Well, this Smallville actress got involved in a cult, and she apparently tried to pull Emma Watson into it as well. Now, the
Not Hermione.
woman's name is Allison. She's 18 during this time. She's an actress, and she's been on the Hollywood grind for over a decade. She was in Camp Nowhere. She was in Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. She was in Seventh Heaven. But one day in 2001, her whole life changes because she gets cast in this new show called Smallville about a young Superman, and Allison plays his sidekick. And this role is great for her, and she's really good in it. But despite this success, she can't help but feel like there's something missing in her life.
Yo, there's always people like that who feel like, yo, I should be doing this. I should be doing better. And those are the people who are vulnerable. Even at the pinnacle of her success, of her career, she felt like something was missing.
And that feeling is about to get her in a lot of trouble. Now, Allison has a friend, this woman, Kristen. And Kristen is also an actor on Smallville. And Kristen apparently understands that Allison is feeling lost and she wants to help her out. So one day in 2006, she invites her to a meeting with a self-help group, which is part of a larger organization called NXIVM.
AKA the cult.
And so Allison is like, self-help? All right. And she decides to give it a shot. And so Allison goes to this group, and this group ends up being straight up a cult. But Allison, she's naive. She doesn't know that. And so she meets a bunch of people there, including a few women who low-key want to recruit her into this cult real bad. And they want to recruit her because she's on TV. She's moderately famous. And having famous members always makes cults look more legit.
And it's great for recruitment.
And so they tell her they can help her out and that joining them will solve all her problems and will advance her acting career and all this nonsense. One of them even flies Allison on a private jet to go and meet the founder of this self-help group.
Bro.
The founder is this guy, Keith. And Keith, he's a weird dude, but he...
Bro. The people who be gaining control over others to get them to... Basically, it was just controlling a lot of women. I'm sure with some men in there, but the reason you start the quote, to control women, get them to do whatever you want, and basically he just has his way with all of them.
He's extremely smart, or at least he claims he is. He claims he's some kind of genius, and he takes himself very seriously. He and the other members call him Vanguard and shit. But we're not going to call him that because that's actually stupid. Anyway, so Allison's like, all right, maybe this guy can help me. And so she decides to join Keith and NXIVM. And from here, she gets sucked into the world of this cult. And they give her a sense of community, and they promise to fix whatever's bothering her and help her acting career. And honestly, she feels pretty good about these people and about this place. And over the next few years, she gets more and more dedicated to NXIVM and to...
Bro, that's how they do it, dog. Like, hey, we gonna raise you up in the ranks and shit. You know? Like, oh, what am I? You like tier 2, tier 3 now.
Keith. And Keith, he starts making extreme demands from her and the other members. Like, he'll tell them to lick up a puddle of mud or run headfirst into a tree. And like, I guess the members will just like do it. Like, okay, here we go. He also teaches them bullshit like how women should be monogamous, but men are supposed to be polygamous, which just ends up being a sleazy way for him to get laid with multiple partners. Regardless, all of this conditioning works on Allison, and she gets more and more isolated from the outside world, and she starts losing friends outside the cult.
Yeah, all they do is isolate you from your family. So when your family come around and be like, Allison, what are you doing? You're in a cult. She's like, no, I'm not. You're just jealous. You don't understand. And she'll just turn on her family. But another key component of being in a cult is they drain you of all your resources. That's a one bigger one. And shout out to you, Paul Rutherford. Thank you for the dono, man. That's the big component. Resources. Hey, you're in the cult now. You don't even have to worry about money anymore. We're going to take care of everything. So transfer all your money to the cult bank account. And we're just going to have in this community.
And pretty quickly, her whole world revolves around Keith. In fact, it's rumored that she and Keith start smashing. And while that seems very likely, in my opinion, that isn't actually confirmed. Now, by this point, it's 2011, and Smallville has wrapped, like the show's done. And Allison isn't really acting much anymore. All her time is completely invested in this cult. Like, she's out here making recruitment videos for them.
And then that expanded out and out and out into the rest of my life, and now I have the most beautiful friendships.
And eventually, around 2015 or so, Keith lets Allison in on this big secret project he's doing called DOS, aka The Vow. And this is where the group members will have, and I'm not making this up, master-slave relationships.
Yay! Some women are into that, and they don't want to be the master.
Specifically, I think they mostly mean sex slave, which is pretty much just a scheme that Keith comes up with so that he can surround himself with submissive women to smash with. So anyway, in this master-slave scenario, Keith himself is a master, but he also puts Allison in a master role so that she can go out and recruit slaves. And Allison, she really wants to please Keith, so she puts a lot of effort into her role, and she recruits as many women.
This is how you get into the trafficking. This is how you get into the trafficking of her charge. Because she was recruiting
into this cult slave program as she can. And she'll generally lure the women in by telling them that they're joining a female mentorship program or like a women's movement. And once the women are in and they become full-fledged members and they're all brainwashed, that is when they get blackmailed. Like the cult will make them hand over what they call collateral, which is basically embarrassing or incriminating stuff about them, like nudes. And they threaten to release this collateral everywhere if these members disobey or reveal anything to the public about the cult. And once they get the collateral, Allison and the cult will force them to basically become sex slaves, where they have to smash with their master. And a master is a cult member with many slaves. Most masters have like 5 or 6 slaves. One master claimed that they have 22.
22. God damn, dog. 22? Bro, I would be tapped out. I'll be tapped out. Not Steve Cardina's final form.
Slaves that they're smashing with. And if that isn't bad enough, they then force the slaves to get a symbol branded on their pelvises. The symbol is actually a mashup.
What?
Of Keith's and Allison's initials.
Dang. I see the A. I'm not sure where the K is.
And so, who sits at the top of this weird master-slave pyramid? Of course, the self-proclaimed genius himself, Keith. Keith has declared that he is allowed to smash with any of the slaves, and apparently if they refuse, then their collateral will be made public. And allegedly, Keith himself has more than 50 slaves.
50? Now, you're not smashing these chicks every day. You're probably cycling through, right? You're cycling through. You got your favorite. You got your one and dones. You know, you're probably cycling through, right? You're not going through 50 in a month. But 50? Oh my God. Talk about variety.
In this pyramid. And not only that, it seems like Allison even tries to recruit Emma Watson, Hermione herself, into this cult by tweeting at her. I'm a fellow actress like yourself and involved in an amazing women's movement I think you'd dig.
Oh man, I love the chat. If you're open. Yeah, dog. I know she was doing the victim card. She has to. She got to blame it all on Keith. She was under a spell.
I'd love to chat. And a month later, she tries again. I participate in a unique women's movement I'd love to tell you about. And then 3 weeks later, she tries a third time. I don't think Emma Watson ever wrote her back. Hermione ain't trying to be a no-sex cult. But anyway, with all...
He put them on a 700 calorie a day diet. He liked them stick figure girls. Whoa.
Of the power Keith and the Masters hold over each of these slave members, it seems like he and Allison and the others can keep this weird-ass sex pyramid scheme going, like, forever. Until... Okay, at some point, some of the members and former members, I guess they have a moment where they're all like, you know, this is kind of weird, right? And so one of them or all of them get in contact with the New York Times and they expose everything. The abuse, the branding, the master-slave relationships, all of it. And then in 2017, kaboom, the New York Times publishes the story and it goes public.
Inside a secretive group where women are branded. Ooh, and it looks like that's Sarah Edmondson, the girl from the Smallville podcast. I'm not going to say, I know it's not the Smallville podcast, but after being branded as part of a secret ritual, Jesus, they're required to give their recruiter or master so-called naked photographs or compromising material and warn such collateral might be publicly released if they left. Jesus.
Public. And people read it and they're like, oh snap, the girl from Smallville is in a sex cult? And that gets the attention of the FBI.
Why that look like Murtaugh, right? From Lethal Weapon, Danny Glover looking in.
So the FBI starts investigating. And Keith, I guess he gets word that the FBI is looking into him and he leaves town and he moves from New York all the way down to Puerto Vallarta.
Hey, he got straight out of Dodge. Like, hey, I'm in Mexico. Hola, ¿cómo está?
Mexico. But unfortunately for him, the feds are pretty good at what they do, and they're also pretty good at finding people. So in 2018, they find him in Mexico, and with the help of the Mexican feds, bam, they arrest him. Here's his mugshot.
Damn, dog. He was smashing 50 different women.
The suspected head of an alleged cult that reportedly branded female members now faces charges in the United States after he was arrested and extradited from Mexico.
And shortly after that, in New York, bam, they arrest Allison too. Here's her mugshot.
Damn, she went there smiling just like that, huh?
And they also arrest some of the other cult members, the ones who rank high. And Allison takes a plea deal and she gets sentenced to 3 years in prison. While Keith, he gets charged with a bunch of stuff, including sex trafficking and sexual exploitation of a minor, because I guess one of the girls in the cult was underage, and he gets sentenced
Gotta be life, right?
to 120 years in prison. Wow.
Great video. There you have it, guys. That is the Allison Mack story, beginning to end. Let me know what you think of it. Like and subscribe soon in the comment section. Peace.